Hello friends, welcome to Bhugol Khagol, a channel for geographers, geologists, physicists, astrophysicists and all the people who would like to learn about earth sciences, cosmic sciences and social sciences. Today we have with us Major Saras Tripathi, a man of many virtues and talents. He is an author, an ex-army officer. He has written two books. One, Holy Sinners, Search of Kashmir, and a recent publication is Silent Constitution, Dangerous Consequences. So sir, welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much.
It is very kind of you to
My
be
pleasure.
here with us today. You have spent a number of years in Jammu and Kashmir and have also served in the Kargil war, and that makes him an expert about the understanding of the political region, the physiography, the cultural aspect of the region and the geopolitical importance of Jammu and Kashmir. So today we are going to discuss these critical points on defining Kashmir, understanding the boundaries like line of control, line of actual control, international boundary, what is their signification, how they came into being, what is the present context in which we have to understand these boundaries. And also there is a lot of confusion regarding the terminologies related to Kashmir, like state of Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, a Skychin region, Northern Territories, Gilgit-Baltistan region, so Valley of Kashmir. What is the extent of these regions? Where do they begin and where do they end? Under whose control are these regions? So maybe you can provide us the right knowledge and information regarding defining these regions politically, physiographically, and of course their strategic importance.
Thank you so much. Namaskar. Thank you for having me here, and you have started with a very good question. When I interact with people, I found that most of the people, including well-educated people,
Yes.
are also not very clear about the state of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Northern Territories, Aksai Chin, POK. So there is a lot of confusion. Some people think once they have reached Jammu, they have reached Kashmir,
Yes.
which is wrong. So first, let us understand the geography of Jammu and Kashmir state. I will start from here in 1947. In 1947, the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir was Maharaja Hari Singh, who was a sovereign king. Rather not sovereign, but paramountcy was with the British. He was a king who had his rule over Jammu and Kashmir state. So first we have to understand the state of Jammu and Kashmir at the time of Maharaja Hari Singh.
Before the independence.
Before independence,
Yes.
1947.
1947.
So when we say state of Jammu and Kashmir under Maharaja Hari Singh, then we are referring to a very large territory. In fact, the sixth biggest state of India. At the time of before annexation of Jammu and Kashmir, or rather I will say when Maharaja was the ruler, the total area of state of Jammu and Kashmir was close to 2,23,000 square kilometer. I am saying again 2,23 square kilometer approximately in round figure. Whereas now we have only approximately 60% of the total area, which was originally accessed by the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir with India under instrument of accession in 1947. Now coming to the terminologies, when we say state of Jammu and Kashmir, that was with Maharaja Hari Singh, then we are referring to four regions.
Yes.
Region of Jammu, which is the southernmost part and which is dominated by Hindus. Another part is Kashmir Valley, which is the smallest among all the four regions.
Yes.
It is a valley, and as we know, it is a mountain valley approximately 120 kilometer long and 40 kilometer wide. Then third area is the Northern Territories, which is divided in two parts, that is Gilgit and Baltistan. And fourth area is Ladakh, fourth region rather is Ladakh, which is the biggest region, which is basically a desert. Now, these were the four areas that were part of Maharaja Hari Singh's kingdom. In 1947, when, as we know, we will not go in the history, but when Maharaja Hari Singh decided to annex state of Jammu and Kashmir with India, Pakistan sent its Qabilis and its military in the garb of Qabilis and occupied substantial part of state of Jammu and Kashmir. And Indian forces, after instrument of accession was signed, reached state of Jammu and Kashmir and they pushed them back. But on 26th October 1947, because of unilateral ceasefire by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister, our forces, despite advancing very well and gaining the territories illegally occupied by the Pakistanis, had to halt. In a UN mediated, where India itself had gone under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, a ceasefire was declared. So, the forces wherever they were of Pakistan and India stayed where they are, and that is how the LOC came into existence.
Line of control.
Line of control. Now, I think I am very clear about the four regions. I am going back to the four regions. So, out of four regions, one region, that is Jammu region, is completely with India.
Yes.
Kashmir region is substantially with India,
Okay.
and partially with Pakistan. Pakistan, illegally occupied by Pakistan.
The thin line on the left
Yes, yes.
of the map is with Pakistan.
Yes, yes. When we see the map, you see the yellowish part is with India,
Yeah.
and the greenish part is with Pakistan. And in the eastern side, what we see is the Aksai Chin, which is with China. I am coming China. That I am coming to there. So substantially, Kashmir is with us, partially with Pakistan. Jammu entirely with us. Ladakh substantially with us, partially illegally acquired by China. And northern territories, that is Gilgit and Baltistan, are completely under illegal occupation of Pakistan.
Illegal
occupation of Pakistan. So this is how the state of Jammu and Kashmir under Maharaja Hari Singh got divided in so many small territories. However, substantial part is still with India.
Okay, I have two clarifications here. One, this Kashmir that is occupied by Pakistan, is it called Azad Kashmir?
Yes, they call it Azad Kashmir, whereas the real status is, they have given a terminology just to show that it is Azad, but indeed it is under illegal occupation of Pakistan, and India does not recognize it in any form, either Azad Kashmir or Pak occupied Kashmir. India claims that it is our territory and it is rightfully annexed with India by the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, who was the lawful ruler and owner of the territory.
Okay, and my second query here is, what is the position of Siachen Glacier?
Siachen Glacier is substantially with India, and this is the highest battlefield and among the biggest glaciers in the world. Until 1984, rather 1982, there was nobody on glacier, and it was, as you know, it is one of the most inhospitable terrain in the world.
Yes.
Human beings' survival is very difficult. It is not meant for being there. But because Pakistan tried to occupy the strategic location on the glacier and India had the wind of it, so India reached before them and we occupied. Pakistanis came late. So their entire intelligence and military exercise was a failure, and we have occupied substantial part of Siachen Glacier, for which only Subedar Bana Singh was given the Paramveer Chakra.
Okay.
because many soldiers, many officers sacrificed their life. They made the effort. However, because of it, if you want to give credit, it was Subedar Bana Singh who led the operation and occupied the highest peak, and that is how we are in dominating position. We are on the higher heights, Pakistan is on the lower heights.
Siachen Glacier, our position there, comes under which region of Kashmir?
It comes under Ladakh region.
It comes under Ladakh.
Ladakh region. Ladakh and touching somewhere boundaries of the Gilgit area, but mostly it is in Ladakh region.
So, what is the strategic importance of our settlement or occupation at Siachen Glacier? Why was it so important?
Occupation, I will say, in one sense it is okay, because as it is entire territory is ours. We have the right to occupy this place or the other place. If occupation means being there, then it's all right. Otherwise, as it is legally, it is ours. But I understood your question. You mean to say that there was nobody and it was our territory and we went there simply.
Yes.
So occupying these heights is very important, because if we had not occupied, it was unmanned, despite being ours, like what they did in Kargil, Pakistanis. It was our territory, but it was not supposed to be occupied during winters, whereas it was a tacit understanding for several years that during winters neither you will be there nor we will be there, only because of there will be so much of casualty, very difficult to maintain the communication, maintain the administration, maintain the logistics.
Yes.
So it was a tacit understanding that neither you will be there nor I will be there. But during winter they went and they came back immediately. So they occupied. That is how the Kargil war was initiated by Pakistanis. So if we had not occupied the Siachen heights, Pakistan would have surely occupied and we would have been strategically weak.
Yes.
So it was very important from the point of view of strategic, geographical strategic requirement that we occupy the heights of the Siachen Glacier.
So we are at a higher height, so we have more control.
Yes.
Over the region. Yes. Now, before I come to the strategic importance of the region, I would like you to clarify these three terminologies: LOC, LAC and IB. Line of control, line of actual control and international boundary.
It's really very good question. I appreciate that you asked me. I must tell you, recently I was going through a video of civil services. I will not name the coaching institution. There a professor was teaching, rather whosoever he was, and he told completely wrong definition of LOC. They have no clarity, they don't understand. So it's very important question. These three terminologies we are using in Jammu and Kashmir have a very distinct and different connotation. Let us first take to the IB.
Yeah.
IB is international boundary. It has three characteristics, three attributes. IB is a line which is actually drawn on ground. Physically it is drawn on the ground. One. Secondly, both of the countries either side of the IB recognize that this is the boundary and beyond this I have nothing. The other country also recognizes beyond this I have nothing. So two differences. One, physical marking. Second, recognition by both the countries and recognition by the international community also, including United Nations organization. Third difference is by mutual understanding on international boundaries, since there is no dispute. It is not the regular army who mans the IB. It is always the, in terms of India, it is a central police organization. Nowadays we call them CAPF, that is Central Police, Central Armed Police Organization. And there are many, but with Pakistan it is BSF. With Bangladesh it is BSF. So wherever the IB is, it is BSF which is manning from our side, and Pakistani Rangers from their side, or maybe some other paramilitary force or police force. I am not talking about them, I am talking about India. India has BSF, Border Security Force. So these three differences are there. Once again I am saying, one is it is physically marked, second recognized by both the countries and international community, third it is manned by central police organization, necessarily never by military. Because when there is peace, military is not supposed to be there.
There is no conflict. So, is it the boundary at in Punjab, Wagah border?
Yeah. Starting from Gujarat up to Punjab, it is IB.
Okay.
International boundary. As the state of Jammu and Kashmir begins, the LOC begins, because that is a disputed territory. Disputed in the sense India does not recognize the occupation of Pakistan, and Pakistan claims entire Kashmir is mine, as you know. So there is LOC, line of control. How it came into existence, I have already told. But since India had the rightful, rather I will say India is the rightful owner of entire state of Jammu and Kashmir, and Pakistan has illegally occupied some of the areas including POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. So whatever is the holding line, that we call line of control. The difference is very clear, the three differences. LOC is a line which is not marked on the ground. It is an imaginary line, because militaries of both the countries are standing either side, this side India, other side Pakistan, and physical demarcation is not there. Imaginary line, how? If there is Nala, there is understanding that beyond, if you go, so they will
that
fire.
side may be the other country.
And they also know, there, some places there is mountain, some places there is ridge line or a tree line, something like that.
So geography plays an important role in defining the
exactly.
LOC.
Geography plays very important role. Secondly, it cannot be marked on ground because of two reasons. Firstly, because it is not acceptable to either countries, conflict zone. Secondly, the terrain and topography is such, it's almost impossible to mark them. Somewhere very high mountain, then going in the gorge, going in the Nala, then because of a snowfall, you know, whatever you have done, and it will be washed away. So very difficult. Nevertheless, we are talking about differences. So LOC is an imaginary line, unlike IB. Secondly, second difference is that it is not marked on ground. Thirdly, it is not recognized by either countries or the international community. Fourth, both the sides, it is military which is manning the LOC, most of the places. Because the reason is very clear, because India thinks beyond this imaginary line is my territory. So it is an active area where both the militaries are standing, and it is something like a war zone which is at peace for time being. So these are two differences. Now coming to third terminology, LAC. LAC and LOC have not much of difference. The only difference is for differentiation of the boundary between India and Pakistan and between India and Tibet. I will not call it China. We have given the name LAC. So when we say LOC, it is with Pakistan. When we say LAC, it is with Tibet or China occupied area.
Basically, the eastern conflicting line
Yeah.
is LAC, and the western one is
exactly.
LOC.
Very
so just
right.
for understanding.
Very right. But it will be a bit confusing if you say east and west, because certain areas fall in between also. So we will say that the line between imaginary line, actual line of control between India and Pakistan is LOC, and holding line between India and China is LAC. Now, for ease of understanding, we call it China, otherwise it is Tibet.
Yes, that's right.
And what we say is it is Tibet Autonomous Region, and that is why the deployment on LAC is of ITBP. Indo-Tibet border police.
Border police, yes.
This is also a difference. Wherever we have LOC, it is BSF or the army. Wherever we have the LAC, it is ITBP plus army, because both are active. So army is there. Some places the BSF and ITBP is also there. So these are the differences.
Let's come to another aspect, the present scenario of Jammu and Kashmir. With the scrapping of Article 370 in our constitution, the status of the state of Jammu and Kashmir has changed. Could you please clarify and reflect upon what has changed and what is its importance? Yeah.
Again, very good question. As we have discussed, the state of Jammu and Kashmir comprises of the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is approximately 2,23,000 square kilometers. Whereas now when we say Jammu and Kashmir, we are referring only to the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. That includes only two regions of the previous state of Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Jammu region and Kashmir region.
And now it is a union territory.
And now it is a union territory. The entire Ladakh region, which was otherwise part of Jammu and Kashmir, which was under India, has become another union territory.
Yes.
So whatever India had after illegal occupation of Pakistan and China, whatever was left was known as Jammu and Kashmir. Now it has been divided in two parts. One is known as Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and other is known as Union Territory of Ladakh. And there is difference in the status of both these union territories also. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has a provision of legislative assembly. So elections can be held and there can be a chief minister to administer the state of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay.
Not state, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Whereas in Ladakh there is no such provision. It will remain a union territory that will be administered by the central government directly.
Okay.
So if we compare, it will be something loosely we can say that the status of Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory is somewhere like of Pondicherry.
Close to
Pondicherry,
Yeah,
where there is chief
administration
minister but with limited power, or Delhi for that matter. Union Territory of Delhi. Whereas the status of Ladakh Union Territory is something like of Chandigarh, where there will be a lieutenant governor and it will be directly governed by the central government, that we call union government. This is the difference. So the status of Jammu and Kashmir now has changed from a very big state, that is 2,23,000 square kilometer. Now it is confined to almost one-fifth of the area, and that is known as union territory.
What was the significance of doing this change?
It was very, it has brought Himalayan change in the Himalayan state. Because any law, any act passed by Parliament of India was not applicable in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
All right.
And it can only be applied there, it can only become operational once the State Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir passes the same law in the same form. Now that status is over. So any law which is passed by the Parliament of India and signed by the President, I mean whatever acts are passed by the Parliament, they are applicable to Jammu and Kashmir also. Otherwise it was not. Jammu and Kashmir was the only state where this special provision was there. That is why there was demand for scrapping Article 370, and resultantly the union government has very limited control over the affairs of state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now that is completely scrapped. Now the union government has very high control, more than any other state over Jammu and Kashmir. This is the difference.
All right, wonderful. So in that way, it has led to better administrative control over Jammu and Kashmir as well as Ladakh.
Yeah, because the effect of Article 370 was in the entire area,
Yes.
because that was undivided.
Yes.
Now, even when they have two different status, the applicability of the acts passed by the Parliament of India is equal on both. As it is, Ladakh is
Very
completely
sparsely populated.
completely administered by the union government. So, union government has full power, whereas the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir will have very limited powers in the assembly. Chief minister will have not as much power as other chief ministers in other states. Like if you compare a chief, let us for example, the chief minister of UP or MP has almost 49 subjects in their list that we call state list, where they can make law. But the same is not applicable to the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. It has very limited power. Land is not with them. Administration, police is not with them. Like in Delhi, you see, the police is not under the chief minister.
Yes.
Whereas in UP, MP or Orissa in any other state, the police is under the
we
chief
have
minister.
state police. Yes.
State police.
Yes.
So there is very substantial difference after Article 370. That has made a lot of difference in both the union territories. That is the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and union territory of Ladakh.
Ladakh. Okay. Now there are two more regions that are very confusing in terms of their location, their history, their importance. One is Aksai Chin and the second is the northern territory region beyond the Karakoram range.
Oh, right. Very
So could you please reflect on these two regions and their importance?
Yes. As you know, the area which we know as Aksai Chin is illegally occupied by China.
Right.
The approximate, I am talking about round figure, it is 38,000 square kilometer. 38,000 square kilometer. Precisely what I remember, because a bit difficult to measure precisely, so we go generally for 38,000 square kilometer. And the other area you are talking under Chinese occupation, that is Trans-Karakoram Tract. The terminology is used, Trans-Karakoram Tract. As the name suggests, it is the other side of Karakoram ranges.
Right.
And it was part of Pak occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but Pakistanis ceded them illegally, because occupation of Pakistan is illegal. One illegal occupier handed over to another illegal occupier.
Okay.
So Pakistan ceded that area to China, because China needed it very urgently for strategic reasons. As you know, Tibet does not have connectivity with Xinjiang province of China. That is what we call East Turkestan area. And famous city is, as we know, the Kasgarh.
Yes.
The original name of Kasgarh is Kashigarh,
Okay.
because Indian culture has a lot of influence in entire China up to Mongolia. So the names are also from Sanskrit only. Kasgarh, what they call is Kasgarh today, actually is Kashigarh. So there are many Kashis. You see in south there is a Kanchi, actually that is Kashi.
Okay.
So Kasgarh had no connectivity from Tibet. China wanted it very badly, and the area which was with China was not what you call, it was practically not possible to create a road, make a road.
Maybe rugged topography.
Very mountainous, very bad terrain. So what they did, they occupied illegally, clandestinely in 1962. In fact, before that they made the road. Unfortunately, Nehru government was giving the slogan Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. They were busy here. They were busy creating brotherhood, and they were busy creating a road. So the Chinese clandestinely constructed a road from Tibet region to Xinjiang region.
Right.
and in our area, since that area is unoccupied, there is no human habitation, people didn't come to know that Chinese military is there. They created road, and in 1962 they advanced because of the wrong policies and mishandling of Jawaharlal Nehru and his defense minister Mr. Menon. We lost 38,000 square kilometer of Ladakh region, and that is known as Aksai Chin. And Trans-Karakoram, as I have told you, was ceded to China by Pakistan. These two regions are very important for China because the road which is going from Tibet to Kasgad, that goes from this region, and China had no other area to go. So strategically it was very important from them and for India also, but because of the reasons I explained, wrong policies of Nehru, lack of vision. And one more part, unfortunately, since military service is not compulsory in India, most of the leaders do not have understanding of value of terrain, the physiography of land, the strategic importance of land. So even it's very famous when China occupied the Aksai Chin, there was very hot discussion, there was anger in the nation, and that was expressed by one of the member of parliament. His name was Mahavir Tyagi. He said that because of your weaknesses, your lack of vision, lack of understanding, China has occupied our very big tract,
Yes.
Aksai Chin, and you have done nothing, you have cheated the nation. So Nehru said, what happened if China has occupied? Not a single grass grows in that area. It's a complete barren area. So Mahavir Tyagi, who had no hair on his head, took out his cap, Gandhi cap, and said, even I don't have a grass on my head, so will you cut it? So this is what he wanted to drive, that land is very important irrespective of whether anything grows or does not grow.
Yes.
Because land is only not meant for growing vegetable and grain.
Yes.
It has a strategic value. Even in the Siachen glacier, nothing grows. Why government of India is spending crores of rupees to maintain the troops there?
Yes.
Because it is required there. Our troops are required there for.
It protects the regions where everything grows.
Yes, exactly.
Actually.
If we don't protect there, probably we will not be able to grow here.
Yeah, and flourish.
Flourish.
Yes, that's true.
So this is what it is. So that is how the Aksai Chin and the Trans-Karakoram area went to China.
China, illegally.
Illegally.
Very good. So this brings me to my last question, possibly, that what is the strategic importance of the present Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh?
The importance of this region is very high, not only for India but the entire world. Because old Silk Route,
Yes.
that used to go from here. So this was the most important trade route in the world.
Yeah, Silk Route used to pass from Kashmir Valley.
Exactly.
Yes.
So from long time it has very strategic value. Today also I will tell you an incident before going. What is the importance of Jammu and Kashmir? On the sidelines of United Nations organization meet, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji had gone he had gone to represent India, and from Pakistan it was Benazir Bhutto. Probably that time she was the Prime Minister. So after attending the United Nations meet, both met on the sidelines, and there was a map hung on the wall of the world. There Kashmir was also, as it is shown. So Benazir Bhutto said to Vajpayee ji, Vajpayee Sahab, ये जो आपने indicating to Jammu and Kashmir, if you see the map of Jammu and Kashmir, it looks like it is on the head of India.
It's like a crown.
It is like a crown, or rather a head of India.
Yes.
So she said, Vajpayee ji, ये जो आपने टोपी पहन रखी है, अगर आप हमें उतार के दे दें तो हमारा सारा झगड़ा खत्म हो जाएगा. Vajpayee ji, as you know, he was very witty. Immediately he said, "Madam, जिसे आप हमारी टोपी समझती हैं वो हमारा सिर है और अपना सिर काट के कोई नहीं देता." So this is the importance of Jammu and Kashmir. It is our head. From time immemorial, culture, civilization, it has been integral part of India. Present day also, it's so important, we cannot afford to lose even an inch. I will tell you the reasons. It is surrounded by several countries. If I count correctly, it is minimum 6 countries which have the boundary with Jammu and Kashmir state, which was original state. I am talking about before 1947,
Yes.
which had an area of 2,23,000 square kilometer. I have been referring time and again, which was governed by Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, and which ultimately was given to India lawfully
Yes.
by instrument of accession. So the strategic importance of this region can be gauged by, I will give just one example. If we get back the Pak occupied Jammu and Kashmir and northern territories, that is Gilgit and Baltistan, we will have land boundary with Afghanistan. Today we don't have any land boundary with Afghanistan. And there is a corridor which is known as Wakhan corridor. If you see the map, at the top of the Gilgit-Baltistan area, we are touching Afghanistan,
Yes.
and this area is known as Wakhan corridor. So we will have direct land boundary with Afghanistan,
Yes.
with whom most of the time we had very good relation. And if we enter into agreement like we had entered with Iran for Chabar port, if we enter in agreement with Afghanistan and have access through this Wakhan corridor, directly we will have land access to Central Asia. That is Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, these countries, we will have road trade. Today it's impossible because of illegal occupation of Gilgit-Baltistan by Pakistan. So this is very, very important. Today if we have to go to Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, we have to use either the sea route, because they are also landlocked countries. Either we have to go through via Iran or we have to go by air. Neither they have sea route nor they have land route through India. But this particular corridor, if we get back the Gilgit-Baltistan area,
Yes.
we will have first direct access to Afghanistan and with agreement to entire Central Asia. That's one. Number two, we never recognize Tibet as part of China. Though Nehru has said that it is what they call is TAR, the terminology is TAR, Tibetan Autonomous Region. But in true sense, actually Tibet was a bigger state, I am talking state means nation, than China. China has occupied many territories of many nations including Manchuria and Mongolia and Tibet, and become a big nation now. It is almost 2.5 size more than India because of illegal occupation of many regions including Ladakh. Because of illegal occupation by China of various nations, states like Manchuria, Mongolia, Ladakh, it has become big country, almost 2.5 size of India.
Yes.
But still, if you see strategically, firstly we don't recognize, we don't call it Indo-China border. We always say Indo-Tibetan border. That is why even our police forces who are deployed there, that is ITBP,
Yes.
Indo-Tibet Border Police, not Indo-China Border Police. And we say it is, since China has the, overwhelming power over the Ladakh, so we have given a name, that is TAR, Tibetan Autonomous Region. So it's very important for us, because if you see, like I'll show you on the map, the black line which is going from Tibet to Xinjiang, and that road which is going via, you see here, the road which is going via Aksai Chin, it is, if we get back Aksai Chin, you can imagine that we will have direct access to Xinjiang also.
Yes.
we will have trade with Tibet, but Central Asia also, like Trans-Karakoram region, all these regions, they are in the touching Central Asia and reaching up to the plateau of Pamir. So the importance of Jammu and Kashmir state is very high, and from time immemorial it has been, but in modern age for India, Kashmir is so important that we cannot afford even an inch to cede to anyone. Rather, we have to get back the entire area which is called Northern Territory and the Exai-Chin, Trans-Karakoram region, if we want to become a superpower.
Okay. Since you have served army and you have an understanding of the geography of the region, my last question to you is, what is the role of geography in military operations? Something, if you can tell me about your experiences, because we used to have a subject of military geography previously, but since last 30 years or maybe before that, it was stopped. Yeah.
Very good question. Again, you have chosen your questions, crafted your questions so well. I must thank you. For military, geography is very important. We have a separate subject that is known as terrain analysis.
Okay.
And terrain is so important. In loose terms, you can call it physiography.
Yes.
Because physical dominance is very important from the army. Suppose you are on the mountains, so you are dominating. But if you are in the gorge, you are vulnerable.
Yes.
So this is very important. The mountain, passes, heights, rivers, these are very important for the defense of the army. Most of the places you will find that natural boundaries are made by either by mountains or by rivers or by some natural obstacle. And wherever there are no natural obstacles, generally the nations settle for natural obstacles as a boundary, because that gives protection to both.
Yes.
So, if you see, in 1965 we had captured a place, a pass known as Hajipir Pass. This was very important for us. It is between India and Indian administered Kashmir and illegally occupied area by Pakistan in Kashmir region. Unfortunately, during negotiation, our Prime Minister that time, Lal Bahadur Shastri, he gave it back, maybe under pressure, to Pakistanis. Military was dead against handing over that area to Pakistanis. And in fact, one of the generals had said that the area which we captured by sacrificing several gallons of blood was given back by a drop of ink. Metaphorically, you see the importance of this statement. So several gallons of blood was
washed away
by a drop of ink. So unfortunately, our leaders, political leaders, most of them, they don't understand the value of geography, strategic value of land. Another example I will give, when Bangladesh became independent, we had just 20 kilometers away Tripura. From India to Tripura, the distance from Bengal, West Bengal to Tripura was just 20 kilometers. There is a patch. We could have taken that area from Bangladesh, of course, because we had sacrificed so much of we had done so much of sacrifice for Bangladesh's independence. It was not difficult for at that moment, because entire Bangladesh had Indian military boots on ground. Entire area was ours, and not necessarily by force, but by negotiation. Mujibur Rahman would have given, yes, please take, you have done so much for us. But nobody had the understanding of the terrain, the physiography. Nobody asked. Today we are suffering so much. Almost it takes 30 to 35 hours to reach from Calcutta to Agartala. because you have to take a long detour, first go north, then go east, then come to south. And if we had that corridor, even it wouldn't have been taking hardly, maximum I am talking 6 hours. So 36 hours and 6 hours. So why I am giving all these examples, that our leaders do not have vision for the understanding of strategic value of land, terrain, physiography. So they must understand the value of the physiography, and we must take back those areas which are important strategically for us, including entire area which is occupied by Pakistan and China.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Such an enlightening discussion on a very disputed and difficult topic. Kashmir has been heard, read, seen at various platforms in various discussions, but the clarity of these regions, boundaries and its importance was not highlighted so amazingly, so meticulously by anyone before, I guess. And I hope that all the viewers enjoy and learn something from this video.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Namaskar.